Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Stir the Coco. I have a very special guest today, Elizabeth Love, and she's going to share her journey from being a brain surgery survivor and how she's navigated all that in her life. So we're very excited to have her. Remember to follow us on YouTube on Stir the Coco and also here at BCTV. And we love hearing from you, and this is going to be a great show. Welcome to the program, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Carla.
Well, we are ready to get started here. First of all, can you explain your journey of when you got your brain diagnosis?
I was a senior in high school. I was valedictorian, an athlete, lots going for me, feeling extremely confident, and I was having, unknowing to me, small seizures that were beginning through my senior year of high school. And I had a job and ended up having a pretty big seizure at work. And that's how I found out that there was actually anything going on. A week later, I was in surgery and they were taking a tumor out. Thankfully, it was benign, so the surgery was a success. But in the meantime, I had to decline a full scholarship that was academic sports, and so that was a big loss. But that's part of my story, you know. And the thing was, after I considered it to be successful because they removed the tumor, but after a few years, I started having grand mal seizures. Many, many, many.
What is a grand mal seizure for our guests that don't know?
Well, a grand mal seizure is the kind you see like on a medical TV show where somebody's falling on the ground shaking, making all kinds of horrible noises, and it's traumatic to see.
Wow.
So you go unconscious, and then, you know, when you come to, you don't know anything. The way the neurologist described it to me, Carla, was that your whole brain resets. So it's kind of like rebooting your computer.
Okay.
And he said, you just hope that it all comes back online every time. So like I wouldn't know you, even if you were like my best friend, I wouldn't know you at first.
Yes.
And I would be scared and angry. And you know, over and over and over I had to go through this. And every time, you know, you lose your license, you can't drive. And so it was inhibiting my career and my relationships. I was feeling very anxious and discouraged. So.
And did they know how to treat it, or did you just go with the unknown for a while?
I was able to start taking anti-seizure medication, very high doses, and it would control them for a while, but then they would come back. And then I would have to take greater dosages and add additional medications. But eventually, you know, I fought through most of my adult life, but recently, actually, in the last few years, I've finally become seizure-free.
And how did what changed? What happened?
There were a few things.
That rewiring of your new brain, basically.
Right.
Well, what happened during that time?
I found a neurologist who had the wisdom to prescribe a really good medication that actually helped. But there are some medicines, that I'll call them, that aren't prescription. For example, rest. It's as important as any pharmaceutical. Hydration. The cells in your brain communicate like electrical circuits. And so water transmits electricity, right?
Absolutely.
So if you fill the cells with water and hydrate them, they communicate better, just like an electrical current.
That is, you know, we talk about how about 73% of your brain is water. So what you're saying makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. So those things, avoiding alcohol. Alcohol dehydrates you, you know, and things like that. I just started really becoming more responsible with those things and just disciplined with my rest, hydration, my thinking, you know, avoiding stress. You can't avoid stress altogether, but you can change your response to it. So I worked on my response to stress.
Well, I love that because that stood out when we were having our conversation before, how you react to things. It was a very big thing that you talked about. What are some pointers that you could give someone how to manage their stress, how to approach it?
Well, a lot of our stress comes from things that are outside of our control, right?
Yes.
So how much effort am I going to put into worrying about that thing over there that I can't change? It's almost like a waste of energy. And so what I do is I have this like mental picture, and I draw a circle around myself. And then inside that circle, I have all of the things that I can control or have influence over. You know, what I eat, what I think about, what I watch on television, anything that my relationships with my family members, things that I can do outside of that circle are things that I can't control. World politics, traffic, things that simple. And I put them outside. So when something presents itself to me that's stressful, I look at that circle and I say, is this something I can do anything about? And if it's something I can't do anything about, it gets set aside. I do not invest emotional energy in things I can't control.
So you've noticed the difference.
Oh, yes. I'm so much happier.
Oh my gosh, I love this. So when you get brain fatigue, how do you manage that then? Obviously, well, you've told us one of the things you do.
Brain fatigue is a real thing.
Is it? People talk about it.
Because your nervous system gets tired, especially during the recovery period from a seizure. It's like starting from scratch, rebuilding your emotional fortitude, your nervous system, all of these things, you have to rebuild it. So yeah, I get mentally exhausted when I'm in a recovery stage. Carla, I lean on AI in certain ways.
Tell me about that. I think this is genius how you've incorporated it into your life. Tell me about that.
So how do you stay human in an AI world? While taking advantage of it, it's a beautiful tool, but without it becoming who you are. So being very careful about my interaction with it and using it for exactly what I need without becoming immersed in it. So reminders, drafting emails, research, things that are just practical ways that, whereas I would have been investing all of this time and effort into these things, I just utilize it like a tool, and it takes a lot of the pressure off for the decision making and the reminders and the calendars. I just use it.
What a great way to use that, yes, to your advantage.
Yeah.
For your cognitive well-being.
Yep.
Having gone through this very, very challenging journey, has a support system been important in your life?
Yes.
In this journey? How so?
So if you are blessed to have someone who cares enough to invest in supporting you in your recovery, be grateful. Don't take it for granted. That person is a gift from God, right?
Wow, yes, yes.
So value that. Don't take it for granted. There's also going to be people that cause problems, right?
Yes.
And those people would fall outside of my realm of control, right?
Yes.
So I've taken on a mental stance of observe, not absorb.
I love that. Let's take a pause. That's fabulous.
Yes. So let's use an example of someone who, let's say, a coworker.
Yeah.
That's an easy enough one. And they just land base you about something, rip you up one side and down the other. Do I have any control over that? Nope. So I tend to just sit back and I'm like, I wonder why that person is the way they are. It's just curious. And I just don't react emotionally. I just calm myself and just let them do what they're doing over there.
So what are you doing? Breathing? What are you doing so it doesn't get to you? Because a lot of people, it gets to you, right? It goes straight to your gut.
Yeah, yeah,
do you
because I
do?
don't want to react emotionally, because that inhibits practicality, and emotional intelligence goes out the window when you feel triggered, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I want to be able to keep my composure. So I really do what I do, that observe thing where I'm like, why are they the way they are? And in the process, Carla,
Yes.
I develop a feeling of empathy for that person. What happened in their life that caused them to be like that? And I'm not being mean. I'm
No.
serious. Like,
Yes.
how? And so that actually softens my heart toward them.
Oh.
So when it's time for me to respond, I have gentleness
Wow.
and poise.
So it brought you down several levels from just
yes.
reacting.
Yes, and I'm able to formulate my thoughts and then present my case very calculated.
Yes, it's a strategic move.
Yes.
So obviously, having had this trauma, you've learned to manage your emotions then and react to certain things.
Yes.
More so, do you think, than most people sometimes?
Well, I can only compare myself to my previous self. So
Yes.
in contrast to who I used to be,
Yeah.
I was easily triggered, easily offended. I'm being honest here. Irritated easily, just kind of a slave to my emotions.
Wow.
Honestly. And after cycles of that, one day I woke up and I thought, Elizabeth, you are not going to be a slave to your emotions anymore. And I decided that I am not a victim.
Yeah.
I'm powerful enough to control my thoughts. Nobody else can tell me what to think. I decide what to think. And so I made a decision, and from then on, I didn't let outside things control how I felt. It was like, it was like being set free.
Uplifting and just a release. That's incredible. So your life has totally a new lens then, how you see it.
Yeah.
So in this new lens of life, what are some daily habits that are non-negotiables for you?
Rest, as I mentioned.
How many hours of sleep do you get? Are there, I mean, everyone varies, but.
Sure. I made a rule for myself that I have to have 8 hours of sleep.
Okay.
So in an ideal situation, I would go to sleep at 10 and get up at 6. That does not happen all the time.
No, we're all guilty.
So if there's a possibility for me to sleep till 7 because I didn't go to bed until 11, that's what I shoot for. You know, and so I just really try to be disciplined. I look at it just like prescription medication, as I said.
So you give it that priority.
Oh,
then.
yes.
Yes, there's a lot of research on that.
Oh, yes. And so just like I take my medicine every day, I sleep and I hydrate and I discipline my emotions.
That's a great recipe. That's a great recipe. So as you've navigated, you know, all these challenges, were there things that you had to relearn after having your surgery, your seizures, anything that you,
Yeah. For one thing, I'm a talker. One of my abilities is to be able to communicate. That was something that I was going to college for. That was one of the things that I was going to study is journalism. So I found that after the seizures, I was struggling to formulate my thoughts. And I would go to speak and I would stutter or have jumbled thoughts. And I was so frustrated and I felt very discouraged about it because that was my strength.
Yes.
Until one day I realized, Elizabeth, you don't have to open your mouth until you know what you're going to say.
Yes, that could be handy.
It was like an aha moment. And so for anyone who's struggling with verbalizing or the cognitive condition is inhibiting their ability to express themselves, that's what I would suggest. Hold, hold, hold. I'm ready. Speak.
Just that little time lapse can make that difference.
Yeah.
And well, gosh, a lot of people are going to benefit from that amazing information. And this is what I was going to ask you: if someone is struggling, that's experienced brain surgery or some form of cognitive decline, what encouragement or little vitamin of hope can you give them, Elizabeth?
We control our thoughts. So maybe there are moments of clarity. Maybe there's a struggle cognitively, but then there's a moment of clarity. Lean into that. Celebrate it. Enjoy it. Do the things that you need to do in those moments of clarity. And that's the celebration. And so you set aside the frustration of the other moments and you say, this is my moment. And you do the things and celebrate that. Make those the high points. I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Please, tell us.
One night I was packing for vacation and I was so excited. I'm packing my suitcase. I have butterflies in my stomach.
Vacation.
And I'm getting ready to go on vacation. And suddenly I stopped myself and I said, Elizabeth, nothing has changed. You're in the same house, doing the same things. You haven't gone anywhere, but you have all these good feelings, positive endorphins firing, all this wonderful emotion. But nothing has changed except you're thinking about good things that are going to happen. And I decided that I can feel that way anytime I choose to expect good things in my life.
Yes.
So I decided that in those moments of frustration, like we're talking about, like how do we have hope in these,
challenging times?
Yeah, there's challenging times. There's a lot of difficulties.
Yes.
Choose to look forward to the good that's coming. And if there's nothing planned, plan something good. So you have something to look forward to.
Wow, so purpose is important.
Yes, and then choose your thoughts. I am looking forward to this beautiful thing that's happening, whether it's I get to see my daughter tomorrow or whatever the thing is.
Yes.
And you'll start to feel that excitement and that joy instead of turning on the news again and being like,
yes. Yes. Well, I think that is a way better way to navigate life with that attitude. So when you get up in the morning, that's how you look at it.
yeah. Yeah, and as far as the hope portion, there's so many developments in science and medicine that are helping us, ways to combat the effects of Alzheimer's and dementia. There's things that are being done for people who can't speak or see. There's Neuralink. There's implants in your brain that make it so you can move your arms. There's just an incredible amount. And so hoping in that you know what, whatever my situation is, there may be things that come up that can help me and improve my situation. So not being hopeless, but looking for the positive possibilities that are out there.
And do you think with that attitude that you have is what helped you get through a big portion of your life with this journey?
Yeah, I thought it's not always going to be this way. This is a season of my life. I'm going to improve. And maybe I couldn't control the physical part, but I latched onto the things that I could control. I know I keep saying that, but it empowered me. It made me feel confident.
You survived something major and it's incredible how your spirit and how you saw it. Did you ever feel a little bit, disillusioned, or no, you just always had that glimmer of positivity?
Oh, yes. There were many dark times. Every time I had a seizure, it was so discouraging.
Yeah.
And I thought, I can't stay discouraged. I can't live in this. And I decided that when I talk about choosing my thoughts, it's intentional thinking. Okay, I'm going to choose this thought. I'm going to reject this one. So the discouragement that was like bombarding me and the darkness and the hopelessness, I rejected it. That is not what I'm going to spend my energy on.
Wow.
And so the word that I use is intentional thinking. And what that translates into is neuroplasticity,
Yes,
which
you're
you've
right.
talked about so much on this show.
Yes.
So neuroplasticity, you can
Absolutely.
imagine it like your brain is here and you can
Wow.
mold it. Science proves it.
Yes.
We can reshape
We really
our
can.
brain. We can regrow our brain.
Yes.
And so where these negative pathways have been,
You could have been shaping that route.
yes, you can build that up, and
Yes.
it creates toxins, it creates continuous negativity, hurts your immune system.
Yes.
All kinds of negative things happen. But if you stop that
Yeah.
and you reject those thoughts, those pathways begin to die.
Wow. Yes.
And so it became easier and easier to choose positivity.
Oh.
And then that just began to compound.
So
and
it
those parts-
overwhelms everything.
Isn't that exciting?
It's phenomenal. That is incredible.
Neuroplasticity, in simpler terms.
And you're living proof
intentional
of it.
thinking. Yes.
Your neuroplasticity.
Yes. I'm
in
so
the
much
positive.
happier.
Yes. No, it is just touches my heart to know and hear your journey. I mean, what a challenge, but you're just a ray of sun and hope for so many people. And, oh my gosh. Well, I have, actually, this is very appropriate. We have a manzana, and there's always
I know what a manzana is.
Dime, ¿qué es una manzana?
Gracias.
Habla español un poquito,
Un
Elizabeth,
poquito,
¿verdad?
gracias.
Qué bien. Bueno, Elizabeth, una pregunta. Okay, so
Oh,
here we
one
go.
question.
Yes. All right, here is your pregunta. So, if your brain could send a thank you note today, what would it say? If your brain could send you a thank you note, what would it say?
To myself?
Yes. Your beautiful brain, what would it say?
I would thank myself, dear Elizabeth, thank you for not giving up.
Yes.
Thank you for holding on to hope. Thank you for accepting the beauty that has come into your life. And keep on trucking.
Oh, Elizabeth, oh my gosh. No, this has been so special. And the way that this happened, we won't go into detail, but the way this happened of us connecting, it was definitely very special.
More than
magical.
coincidence.
Yes, it was. And so it's been such a gift to have you here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And before we start sobbing more, because thank you so much for coming on and sharing your beautiful, beautiful story with us.
Thank you.
Muchas
Thank you.
gracias.
For
Mua.
De
Muchas
nada.
gracias.
Mi hermana.
Qué linda. Bueno, bye everyone. And so special to have Elizabeth today. Adios.